Meet Fritz Haber, the father of chemical warfare. Today, the Nobel Prize-winning scientist is best known for his successful work as a chemist, successfully creating a process that combined nitrogen and hydrogen to make ammonia. His discovery led to industrial quantities of ammonia for use in fertilizers, but he's also known for the first use of poison gas on the battlefield. Haber's journey began in Breslau, Silesia, in December 1868, before the unification of Germany. Today, part of Poland, the region of Silesia formed part of the growing Kingdom of Prussia. Born to a German Jewish family, Haber was heavily influenced by his father's import business, specializing in dyes and pigments. It was this influence that led him to study chemistry at the University of Berlin in 1886, before quickly moving to Heidelberg after a single term. Following a year of compulsory military service, Haber returned to Berlin to finish his studies, earning his doctorate in 1891. After graduating, Haber floated around for 3 years, including working for his father's business and continuing his studies in both Zurich and Jena. But it was in 1894, with the German Empire fully established, that Haber began to make his name. After his appointment as an assistant at the Department of Chemical and Fuel Technology in Karlsruhe, he quickly rose through the ranks and became a full professor in 1906. He would remain in this position until 1911, when he was invited to be the head of the brand new Berlin University, the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Physical Chemistry and Electrochemistry. Here, he would work until 1933, when he resigned in protest at brand new race laws that curtailed the rights of Jews in Germany. Haber's career in academia saw him earn the renown that he holds today. Despite training as an organic chemist, Haber switched his specialization to physical chemistry after moving to Karlsruhe, desiring to use chemistry for industrial purposes. Among his early works, Haber was instrumental in developing and studying nitrobenzene, the hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell, and the glass electrode. But Haber's fame came through his work with German chemist Carl Bosch. Together they created the Haber-Bosch process to manufacture ammonia to boost crop yields worldwide. His work on ammonia synthesis led him to receive the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 1918, but like many scientists across the ages, his initial noble purposes would soon be turned to more sinister applications. It's important to mention that Haber's work wasn't taken by somebody else and turned into a weapon of war. As World War I descended upon the young country, Haber willingly devoted his scientific resources to help meet Germany's much-needed demand for chemical products and other synthetic substitutes. With the largest war in human history at the time and Germany being blockaded by the Royal Navy, the country was forced to resort to other measures to continue the war effort against the Allies. Much of Haber's work at this time focused on refining his initial ammonia synthesis process, which had won him the Nobel Prize. His discoveries were then paired with the work of another German chemist, Wilhelm Ostwald. Ostwald had discovered a process for oxidating ammonia to create nitric acid. By combining the work of both scientists, they not only managed to further bump up food production, but also create nitrates and other explosives. Haber soon attracted the attention of the German Supreme Army Command. They approached Haber with a request for possible tear gases that could be deployed on the battlefield. Haber replied with a suggestion to use chlorine gas as a chemical weapon. The German army went on to deploy chlorine gas as a weapon for the first time at the Battle of Ypres in April 1915. Naturally, it didn't take long for both sides to deploy these weapons, with various forms of gas being used. At the time, the gas was effective at neutralizing soldiers and creating a screen that could be used to hide offensives. But on numerous occasions, a simple change of the wind could blow the gas back at the attacking soldiers, leading to huge numbers of unnecessary casualties. Nevertheless, Haber's work saw him promoted to the position of Chief of Germany's Chemical Warfare Service. Despite his battlefield innovations, Germany lost the war, leaving Haber open to heavy criticism in later years. However, Haber was proud of his wartime service and said, "During peacetime, a scientist belongs to the world, but during wartime, he belongs to his country." Some historians have argued that the war could have ended much earlier, if not for Haber. At the time, Germany relied on importing natural nitrate deposits from Chile and South America. If the British had cut off these supplies, Germany wouldn't have possessed the nitrates needed to not only make gas but a variety of explosives. However, such criticisms have also resulted in many arguing that this overlooks the positives of ammonia synthesis in fertilizer production. Furthermore, other chemists from across the world were more than willing to develop other explosives and forms of poison gas for use in World War I, based on Haber's initial work. After the war, the scientist's fame saw him become heavily involved in numerous scientific organizations at home and abroad. His fame meant that the criticisms of his actions in the war were largely ignored, enabling him to spend much of his time traveling the world, delivering lectures and writing popular articles. However, that's not to say Haber didn't continue his work on technical projects during the interwar period. One failed experiment involved attempting to extract gold from seawater to help pay Germany's war debts. He also proposed a graphical method for calculating the energies of ionic crystals. Today it's known as the Born-Haber cycle, and is a regular fixture in most inorganic chemistry textbooks even now. But this was where much of his work ceased. The Nazis' rise to power saw the end of his career in Germany. As a German Jew, there were no exceptions made, even for a man of his stature. He soon resigned from his position and departed for England, where he spent 4 months. During his exile, he was invited to Mandatory Palestine to act as a research director there. However, Haber would never take up this position. Although he accepted this offer, he died of heart failure on his way there, dying in a hotel in Basel, Switzerland in January 1934 at the age of 65. His great friend Albert Einstein said in his eulogy, "Haber's life was the tragedy of the German Jew, the tragedy of unrequited love." How you view the great scientist depends on your point of view. His work on ammonia synthesis revolutionized how food was produced across the globe. However, that same work also resulted in the creation of poison gas as a weapon of war and more powerful explosives. Following his death, other German scientists continued his work. Through his previous research, Germany developed Zyklon B, both a fertilizer and the prime gas used to kill over 1 million Jews in the gas chambers. Although these were not Haber's motives, the fact is that without his work, the Nazis would never develop this notorious agent that would be directly involved in the deaths of millions. It is somewhat ironic that the work of a German Jew would set the stage for the greatest massacre of the Jews less than 10 years later. And that is why Haber today has gained the moniker not of Nobel Prize-winning scientist, but as the father of chemical warfare. So there we have it. If you have any comments, criticisms or corrections, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.